24th. It's a Thursday. I did not do a video last week. I did weigh myself last week. So last week's weigh-in, I was 238.4. Today's weigh-in, I was 239.6. Now, I did say today was the 24th. It actually is the 24th. I weighed in yesterday on my shot day. So that's why my dates are kind of, messed up. I didn't do a video yesterday because I was working and then just forgot about it. Let's see. Health-wise, I've been having a lot of palpitations the last 2 weeks, I guess now. Don't love that. Trying to ignore it as much as possible since we don't know what causes it, and it just stresses me out to focus on it. I've been doing the Cagrelintide. I'm doing Cagri shots on Sundays. I'm doing my Terz shots on Thursdays. And I'm roughly, I don't know, like 0.3 milligrams? Might be 0.3 for the Cagrelintide. I'm not 100%. I can't recall. I think it's probably 0.3 though, is where I'm at right now. And I might end up increasing that after this vial is gone. Not 100% sure with that. I feel like I'm not, it's helping with the hunger, because I did drop to 7.5 milligrams of the Tirzepatide. So I do feel like it's working well in conjunction. Some days I'm just really not hungry at all. And I find like I'm eating what I feel is very little, probably maybe like one actual meal a day. But I'm still, it keeps me full like all day if I'm really paying attention to how I feel. Even, I hate going to bed with like a full stomach. So usually I have either a breakfast and then maybe a late afternoon small meal, or I'm just having a lunch and then basically calling it good. Yesterday, I had some chicken stock with a couple of eggs. So I made like a makeshift at-home egg drop soup, but it was just chicken stock and eggs that were in there. Well, I guess I chopped up a green onion and had that on top too. But that basically kept me going the entire day. So I definitely am eating less. I was kind of bummed because I didn't eat that much yesterday, so I weighed myself today. And today I was 238.8, so just shy of a pound, which a pound can happen for any reason. You go to the bathroom, you lose a pound. So it's not a huge difference. My husband is on the Tirzepatide. I don't remember if I told you guys about that. He's just at 2.5. And he's like, man, I am staying full so much longer. I'm not hungry nearly as often. He's like, it's weird. And he's going on a hiking trip. So he's worried that it's going to affect his hiking. And I'm like, so he's kind of thinking that after this vial is done, he doesn't want to continue on with the Tirzepatide. He kind of just wanted to use it to jumpstart. I'm like, it's 2.5 milligrams every 7 days. It doesn't hurt you to stay on it. It's good for regulating your sugar. So I would recommend that he stay on it, but it's his body. He can do what he wants. We have started the melanotin too. We started that a couple days ago. Bodybuilders use that to help be able to get tan more easily. It also has anecdotal evidence to increase libido, desire, things like that in both men and women. So that's why I'm taking it, is for the libido issues. It's only been 2 days. Today will be the third day. I did experience flushing the first day that I took it with a slight bit of nausea. I'm not sure how much of that is actually due to the like if it's psychosomatic, if I thought, oh, well, some people get nauseous from this, maybe I'm feeling nauseous from it. Could have been something I ate earlier that day. The flushing was definitely real though. That happened to my husband as well. He definitely got the facial flushing, and it was a pretty minimal amount. I think it was 0.2 is what he took milligrams, and I took 0.3 milligrams. And it sounds like you can go up to most people go between like half a milligram to a milligram. So we're under, because I'm always a little leery when starting out with new medication. I want to make sure it's I'm not going to have a bad reaction to it. So Yesterday I did point 0.3 again. He did point 0.3 again, and I almost didn't have any kind of facial flushing. So fingers crossed that that's not going to be something that happens. He kind of feels like maybe he's feeling some of the libido upkeep, like jump ups from it, but he doesn't have a problem with that anyway. So um, maybe it's just him hoping that I was going to be in a more amorous mood. But I'll continue to take it. I don't think it's harmful to take. Some people are a little hesitant to take it because certain studies have shown that a very small amount of the population have ended up with melanomas after using melanotin 2. That being said, they're a very small pool of study participants, and there's nothing to say that they weren't predisposed to melanomas to begin with. You know what I mean? With as many bodybuilders have used melanotin for years, if not decades, if you don't have like an entire host of people who are regularly getting cancer from it, then I can't really think it's actually cancer causing for the majority of people. So I'm probably going to use it for a couple weeks, maybe up to a month, see if it makes me feel randier. I was on a Reddit menopause forum, and they were talking about how this woman was using, I think it was Cialis cream, basically. And typically you think of Cialis as being for men, right? It's like kind of like Viagra. But she used it on her downstairs, and she said that it made her both like more amenable to the idea, but actually made her O's like just crazy amounts better. Like she had been struggling before. They were just kind of middling. They were not great. And then she started using this Cialis cream, and holy crap, it was like life-changing, she said. And it reminds me of that episode of Sex and the City where Kim Cattrall's character takes a Viagra with her bed partner, and she's just loving it. She thinks it's great. The thing that really gets me is that apparently Cialis cream was studied on women, and it helped with blood flow. It helped with the orgasm strength. It helped with something else about it too. But because it didn't make women want sex more frequently, like it made it better when they were having it, but because it didn't make them want sex more, it was written off as not being effective for women. That to me is just mind boggling. We get such the raw end of the deal. You know what I mean? So I have a appointment with my menopause doctor next week, next Thursday, maybe. I'm going to ask her about this Cialis cream. I would think that she would be okay supplementing it for me. I'm doing the testosterone. It's a very, very low dose of the cream. That hasn't really seemed to make me more, with it. I am going to ask about upping the estradiol cream. That's the vaginal cream that goes up inside for your walls and stuff. It's still a little bit painful during the act, and I think that there are ways to just improve, you know what I mean, for everybody involved, mainly me being more willing to engage. So there's still a lot of things that I'm looking forward to helping with where I am. I don't know if it's going to be a combination of maybe increasing estrogen, increasing testosterone, maybe getting on this Cialis cream. I have no clue. Maybe the melanotin 2 will kick in before I actually can get the Cialis cream. And even if she doesn't prescribe the Cialis, there are tons of different online pharmacies where you can get that kind of stuff. So if she doesn't prescribe it for me, at that point, it's whatever. I'll still be getting it at some point. Let's see, what else? Health-wise, I haven't really been having sulfur burps or anything like that. That's been all great. I have been feeling kind of maybe heartburny. I don't know if that's exactly the right word, maybe acid refluxy. Especially at nighttime when it's time to sleep, because you're prone, and that just allows acid to back up a little bit, and then it's in your esophagus. So that's another reason why I don't like eating late at night, because it does take so long for food to digest that if you eat like even past 6:00, I would say 4:00 is basically should be my cutoff time, maybe even sooner, but we'll say 4:00. So yeah, I forgot I had a little package of nori chips yesterday as well. So I don't know. Weight is hovering around 240. Let's just call it 240. Um, it's kind of a bummer because I was down to like 235, 233, and I don't love being back up at 240. I definitely notice in my face when I've gone up a little bit. So I don't love that. I am still dealing with, loose skin. I haven't really done much. I haven't done a lot in the skincare routine lately. I was being really diligent about washing my face at night and putting on the moisturizers and doing the face masks and doing, the micro needling, but I get lazy. So I'm trying to pick that back up again. I have been doing the mesotherapy, like every 4 weeks. I've been doing that. I feel like it makes a little bit of a difference. When I've been going over these areas where I have these capillaries so close to the skin, I've noticed that when I do the meso, so it goes in probably a good millimeter to 2 millimeters, these bleed. Like there's tons of bleeding that happen from there. But I'm trying to get those broken up. I bought a, so this is like an infrared gua sha thing. It's, you've probably seen the gua sha before. They're usually like jade stones, and you kind of like just smooth them, up. It's to help your lymphatic system drain. So this little device comes with infrared and a couple other colors to help with various skin depths. So I bought that like maybe a month ago, and I haven't tried it yet. So I gotta maybe get on that because I think that'll help. A lot of people talk a really good game about those types of devices, using the infrared while you're, using the smoothing section. So it helps both lymphatic and you're getting red light therapy or blue light therapy or green light therapy, like whatever it is you're trying to achieve for those things. So I have a lot of stuff, and I haven't used it yet. I've been buying things at Michael's for organization and storage. So I have pretty much all I need storage wise. It doesn't work the best. Like I would rather have drawers, right? Where you're like pulling drawers out. I have a lot of things right now that stack on each other, which, is nice for space saving, allowing it to stack. But then you have to take off those couple bins before you can get into the underlying bin, and then you got to restack them. So that's not ideal. So I'm always on the lookout for storage systems. I have a couple IKEA, I don't know if they're 3 or 4 cubbies, and I have them next to each other. So I think I have 8, but maybe it's just 6. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm kind of looking for stuff that'll fit width-wise, depth-wise, height-wise with that. Because if I could just like open a drawer, take out a, like a needle or a syringe or whatever, that'd be great. That's the other thing. For a lot of these systems, it would be great if my needles and everything were freestanding, because that way, like separated on the perforation. So they're not just, because right now they're all connected together like in this big long, like snake looking thing, right? And you have to like kind of carefully tear off the perforated. They're individually sealed, but it would be easier if I could just like reach in without having to like reach in and then gently take it apart and then reach in and gently take the needles apart. And that's just me being lazy, because I could do that. I could take a half hour and have all those separated, and maybe I will someday. But right now I'm just going to complain about it. I got my other pens. I will show those to you one sec. Okay. So these were the Easy Supply pens. I've showed you the version 2s that I had before. This is the version 1. So it's very similar, but you'll notice it does not have a spring on the top here. Instead, the pen cap comes off. This is where the cartridge goes. I like this better because you're not having to like twist forever. It's literally, you put it in there and then it just clicks in. So you put the cartridge in here. Once the cartridge is filled, you fit it in and it just clicks. It's just, to me, an easier, more convenient thing. And then you put the pen tip on, you put it down and then you screw it on. So I like this better as well. how you decide how many units you're going to do. I think this mechanism is smoother. And this goes to 80, whereas the V2s only go to 60 units per, like all the way up. So this goes to 80. The other one would just be at, what is that, 60? We're going to assume that that's 60. Okay, I can read things backward in my camera. So that's nice, because sometimes maybe you want a little bit extra. So if you had used all this, so let's say that this was all the way up here, because this goes up every time you use it, right? This thing increases. So you just use your finger and push it down. And, but yeah, I like not having to, I like that when the cap is on, it's completely sealed up. Whereas with my other pens, it has a spring for this part of it. So it's never fully sealed from the air. And I keep mine in Ziploc bags in my fridge. I don't feel like I have to do that with these because this is already closed, So this is part of that bundle that I got. I got 2 bundles, so 6 pens total for $60. And they each came with 5 sterilized cartridges that you put your stuff into. So what I've been doing is I've been, filling my cartridges. Filling the cartridges, and then I've been using my Nimbot label maker, and I have a label, and then I've been putting the labels kind of like on the other side of where the window is. So for mine, it'll say my name, and it'll say what is in the thing, and it'll say how much a dose is, and it'll say how many units equals that dose. So I have it very clearly labeled, what each pen is. And like my husband has one, he's got one for the melanotan, so it's got his name on it, and it's melanotan 2 and what the dose is and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's super helpful, especially when you end up getting a lot of pens going. You don't want to forget which pen is which. So having a label maker like that was very inexpensive. I think that's such a great way to go. And I label my vials too, like the individual vials that I get, just so I know. And some of them I had the brilliant idea, and I didn't do this for all of them, but some of them I had the brilliant idea of, okay, well, if this is a 10 milligram vial, and I want my dose, I use the reverse peptide calculator. I want my dose to be 0.25 or 25 units. Then it tells you how much backwater to put in based on like what your dose is and stuff. So I was putting that on the vials themselves, like how much water that I'd be using, just because I did like the work ahead of time. I didn't do that for all my vials. Some of them I just said, what it was and what the batch number is and how many milligrams is in the vial. Like I didn't do the whole research on, all right, well, I'm going to add 1 milliliter of water to this eventually. And 1 milliliter is going to equal blah, blah, blah milligrams and yada, yada units. I didn't take the time to do that for all of them. I might do that going forward. The only thing I'm not sure about doing that is if my dose does change in the future, then it's almost like it's useless, but I guess on the other hand, it's not. Because whenever I end up putting my stuff into these, I can always adjust how many units I'm doing and what the dose is going to be. So it's probably a good idea to do that with all those. But anyway, I do like these pens. These are the version 1s. They just seem like they're made better, like better material. So I like them. I like them better. However, they are longer, like in depth wise, than my, that little refrigerator that I have that holds like, I don't know, 4 cans of soda or something like that. They are longer than that. So I'm having to like angle them. So like my fridge is like this, and I'm having to put them at an angle so that they fit in the space. It has a divider in there. And now I'm wondering if I take like the shelf out, if I can stand them upright. I don't know. But so that's kind of a bummer, but first world problems, right? Like it's not a big deal. If eventually I would have to put it in the fridge downstairs, it's kind of whatever. So not super worried about it. I do have so many boxes of peptides in here. I need to move them. if nothing else, I mean, they're better stored. Peptides are usually the best stored in the freezer until you use them. Some of these are not peptides, like the Snap 8 or the GHK, that kind of stuff. You could just keep it in like in a dark, cool area. I could probably, like I have, you know, so I have a bunch of boxes in here. I could probably just put them in my closet and they would be fine for years. But I should probably get them in the freezer just to have them last the longest. All right, guys. Well, I do believe that's it. The job I've been working the last 5 months, I guess it's been like 5 months, it ends for me next week. For a lot of people, it ends today. I got an email saying that I qualified to stay an extra week. So they are not allowing nearly as many people per hour. So I'm more hesitant to be away from my desk. Whereas right now, when it's 2.5 hours between calls, I'm a lot more confident to go downstairs and, talk to my husband while he's working and then come back upstairs, kind of a thing. I don't know that it'll depend. I guess I'll find out on Monday how it is, but that's only for a week. So now I'm looking into a couple other work online places. One of them is called agentsolutions.com. It's for Medicare. It sounds like, I'm hoping it's not an outbound situation. I think it's an inbound. I think it was quoted like $15 an hour and then $4 for every person that agrees to get transferred to a licensed Medicare professional. So you can make more, just depending on how many people you talk to while the time you're scheduled. It also sounds like you don't have to be scheduled, that you can just jump on 24/7, like whenever you want. Who knows about that? But so I'm in the midst of qualifying on that site. I don't know if they're just information gathering, like resume gathering at this point, because annual enrollment's already done. I'm not sure. I think open enrollment maybe goes through the end of January. So that's only like another week and a half. So I don't know. It's just something I'm looking into. Omni already always has stuff that they hire for. It's just whether or not I want to work for those clients, So we'll see. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. I hope you guys are having good weeks. Let me know how your journeys are going in the comments. I always love hearing, how everybody else is doing. Okay, bye.